let's get into a little bit of NBA talk. We only got like a month of football left, of actual football playing. We're getting to the swing of things with the association. We're almost at the official halfway mark. I know at All-Star break, people, it's halfway mark. No, nigga, All-Star break, it'd be like 20, 25 games left. Like the fucking official half mark of the NBA is actually motherfucking Martin Luther King Day, damn near. So we're getting to that point right now. Let's talk about the two teams that everybody likes talking about, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. Both of these teams right now are struggling, even though the Lakers got a win last night against the Clippers. A lot of people gassed up that dunk by Raymond last night. And I'm not saying that it was a bad dunk, because it wasn't a bad dunk, but that nigga was definitely fighting for his life. That nigga had no lift. If this was like 5-6 years ago, he'd have put Paul George through Earth's crust. So they're not playing this game right now. If I'm looking at the standings, right now in the Western Conference, they are the 10th and final play-in seed. They are 18-19, and they're only a half game up on the Golden State
They've been up since the play-in. They've been up since the NBA championship.
Yeah, this is only the third game they've won since the in-season tournament. That was last month, and the Warriors only a half game behind them at 17-19. We all know the Warriors' problems. We'll get to the Warriors in a minute. I said on Twitter that I wasn't too nervous about the Lakers, because I seen that the Lakers have also proved that they can turn on when they need to. But there's also issues with, I just feel like nobody wants to talk about it. I feel like we're slowly seeing that LeBron is 39. Like, he needs other people to be more consistent. You need a better bench. You need Anthony Davis to be more consistent. I feel like we're beating the dead horse here. Right? And maybe Anthony Davis just is who he is. But the coaching, to me, is the main problem with this team. Darvin Ham is not a bad coach. I mean, not a good coach. And usually I'd be like, oh, well, LeBron always talking about his coaches. This time is warranted. He's just not a good coach. And to the point, he's going up to the media saying things like, oh, y'all overreacting. No, niggas is not overreacting. Like, this is a proper time to overreact to anything you're saying. And basically, as a coach, you're telling them to fuck off, and it's not that serious to you. I just feel like they need to figure that out. I don't think there's anything they can do about it mid-season. I don't think there's no, maybe they could fire him and get Doc Rivers. That's a situation that will make sense to me. And honestly, the situation I'll hope for, because ESPN, Disney, the biggest mistake you've made on the NBA side this year was breaking up Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, and Green. No disrespect, but that tandem of them, like, to me, I love Doris Burke. Doris Burke is great. If it was just Mike Breen and Doris Burke, I'd be fine with it. But Doc Rivers brings nothing. And I miss the banter that we got with Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson. That was terrible. So I would love to see him back on the bench instead of in the color booth. Dante, what you think is like the issue with the Lakers? And do you think this is solvable, or is this a usual thing we see with LeBron James teams, where the closer you get to All-Star break, it's like they don't care as much as before? Or do you think this is a legit problem?
I think it's a problem. I do think it's a problem for the Lakers, mainly because you've built a roster around a 40-year-old. Like, that's a problem, my nigga. Like, don't get me wrong, LeBron is great, and like I said, I've come around that corner a long time ago. I don't even diss the nigga no more. But at the end of the day, he is 40 years old, so it should be a point where you should have built the team more so focused on what AD's strengths are, and have LeBron adapt to that, because his IQ is so high. And so when you haven't done that, now you're at a point where when those guys aren't carrying their weight, you're putting so much more on LeBron. And at this point in his career, that's not what he's supposed to be doing. So I think that's definitely a cause for concern, especially because, let's be real, let's talk about it. LeBron's been hurt every year in the Lakers uniform. Like,
yeah.
He like, you asking him to carry more and more of a load. And as somebody who watched Kobe's whole career, I remember that what's Buddy's name? It's crazy, isn't it? I remember the D'Antoni season where, he damn near averaged. He put up crazy numbers, but he literally broke his body to get them to the playoffs.
It's life to get into the playoffs,
bro. So yeah, no, like I think with the Lakers, it's definitely an issue, and it's something that's very, very serious.
Bang, what you think about the Lakers?
Man, as I get more into the NBA season since it started on Christmas, I realized that the Lakers kind of blew their load for that, for that fake NBA in-season title. Because ever since then, man, them boys have been huff. And LeBron wants to try to defeat Father Time. Father Time ain't gonna lose. But I think that the issue is bigger than that. And I think that I ain't gonna say I think a lot of people gave Rob Pelinka too much credit for getting the niggas that he got in the trading deadline last year to get them over the hump and play the Nuggets in the NBA in the conference finals. And then doing the same thing here. LeBron ain't got no help outside of AD, and AD is a trip away from being out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that I know there's been an issue about the lineups and stuff like that. Not only reason why there's a problem with lineups, fam, or the majority of the time, there's the issue with lineups because you ain't got no talent in them lineups. And don't nobody want to say that. They ain't got the talent to fill in the lineups. That's why when it came out that apparently that Zach LaVine, there was no suitors, nigga, the Lakers want them. The Bulls just don't want what they got, which says a lot. What, you gonna give me Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell and I'm supposed to be good? No, my nigga. The reason why the Lakers don't have Zach LaVine, or at least is not having conversations to get him, is because the Bulls like, nigga, I don't want the white boy. I don't want the white boy in the snitch. I'm gonna need more. And you ain't even got enough picks to entice me to think that way. Is that a light? All that shit. I got a new light.
Oh, this nigga
was like, I feel like I'm high. I feel like I'm high, but I ain't. So it's like,
I got the new light here too. I bought me one of them podcast lights, nigga. I feel like one of them influencer bitches on TikTok and shit. But I'm with y'all on that, man. I think it's fixable. I think one thing that they have shown that they can turn it up. But at this point, like you said, LeBron's playing for championship. This is not a championship team. This is not a championship roster. There's no trade out there that's gonna bail them out. They don't even have assets to get somebody like a Zach LaVine or DeJounte Murray, which I don't know even why the fuck they would want DeJounte Murray on this team. I just think it's just something where they are. This is they need to ride it out, and this is unfortunately for them that window is going to close. And all they're really going to have is that bubble championship. Let's talk about a team that's won multiple championships. The Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, like I said, 17-19. They're looking out of the play-in right now. Draymond Green has been out for the last couple weeks. We will get into that nigga in just a second because that motherfucker is hilarious for the shit he said today. But I think the Warriors are cooked too. The run is over. They were able to squeeze one last championship out 2 years ago. But this is just something where they just need to. I don't want to say they need to start over, but they kind of do need to start over. I think Clay even just had a come to Jesus moment. I don't know if y'all heard that press conference he had like a week ago where he's like kind of like came to accepted his mortality as a basketball player. Like, I'm not going to be the guy that I used to be. And he really had like a reflective, like, not that like he was sad about it, but he really felt like he accepted it. Like, he wasn't in denial about, I'm not going to be who I used to be, but I had a great career. I won 4 championships. I just did that and this, that, and the third. And I do think that, there's going to come a time this offseason where some tough conversations and there need to be had. And I've said this last couple months, and I'm going to continue to say this. If I'm Steph Curry, I need to get up out of there. Steph Curry is still playing in the elite level, he's 35 years old. He's ain't got that much left. As great as Steph shoots, he ain't got that much left. He's gonna want to try to at least compete for another championship or not. Now I don't know if this will change once Draymond gets back. Chris Paul, like we said, the Chris Paul injury happened. That nigga's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. They have mismanaged this whole young nigga movement they had 2 years ago. That everybody was like, oh, they just reloaded. They got Jordan Poole, they got Kuminga, they got Wiggins, they got Moody. Now you got Jordan Poole is fucking shit up in Washington. I don't know where the fuck Andrew Wiggins has been ever since that leave of absence he had last year. It's like his talent left with him. I don't know who the fuck that guy is. He's not the guy they need. Jonathan Kuminga has been so frustrated. This nigga cut his hair and got a shitty ass lining. And I don't know what the fuck Moody has been doing. Like, this is just not good basketball. And I think this is the end for a great run. They had a great run. 10 years. That stuff doesn't happen all the time, especially not in today's era of the NBA. But I do think that it's time for people to move on. I think Steph need to find a way up out of there, man. Dante, I'm gonna go to you first. What's your feeling on the Warriors right now? You on mute, brother.
It's over. It's real quick. I would say a lot of times as sports fans, kind of like how we let the outliers drive the narrative in terms of what players should do, when in reality it's elite niggas, and then you got a bank of good niggas, and then there's everybody else. Like that's really how sports works. But it's the same way with this. We talk about a team that won 5 championships. They got 5, right?
4
or 5. 4.
4.
You won 4 in 6 years, 4 in 7 years, whatever it is, whatever the spread is. You're talking about one of the best dynasties we've seen in the modern era. You know, the latest dynasty added to the NBA lexicon of teams like that. So in reality, everything we're seeing is what is supposed to happen. Like, we look at niggas like LeBron in year 20, and then we see somebody like Clay in year 13, and be like, what's wrong? Well, it's like, well, no, Clay had 2 major injuries back to back. He should look like this. Like, anybody who was expecting old Clay, you were expecting the miracle. Like, I remember when Michael Redd tore both his ACLs, and niggas actually thought he was going to come back and be Michael Redd. It's like, no, like, injuries, like major injuries, that shit matters, and that shit adds up. And so I think with the Warriors, really a thing where at this point, I would blow it all up. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, they're not going to do that because they're not going to do that unless Steph Curry asks for that. If he says, hey, let me go somewhere else. But at the end of the day, I think you enjoy your wins. You won 4 championships. You became a top 5 team in terms of valuation. So you're winning on the business side and the court side. You moved back across the bridge, got your brand new stadium. Enjoy your wins and start building for the future. It's like, I think what really fucked them over is that, I don't want to say that Bob Myers and those guys listen to the public, but when you don't take a guy like Lonzo Ball because you assume he doesn't fit your culture, when in reality, Lonzo is a pass first guy. Like, yeah, he get buckets, but he would have been perfect for this team. You missed on Wiseman. You've missed on pretty much every other young talent you tried to bring to that team.
LaMelo, not Lonzo.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Melo.
Yeah.
Melo. You should have drafted Melo, but you went with Wiseman, and it's been downhill. Jordan Poole, that was a disaster. Like, that flat out. You see what he's doing in DC now, but that was a disaster. So everything you've done to try to keep it going it hasn't worked. So it's time to really readjust. So if I'm the Warriors, I mean, my feeling toward them is it was fun while it lasted, but it's over. Like, it's over. Like that like you said, that Clay press conference was borderline sad because you hate to see people have those type of realizations in the public eye, where it's like, damn, like, I'm really not the Klay Thompson I used to be. Like, if he said that in public, I wonder what he says when he at the crib by himself. You feel me?
Exactly.
Like, how he really feels about it. So that's how I feel about the Warriors. I feel like, it was a great run, but unless Wardell tells you, yo, I want to retire a Warrior, this is the only place I want to play, you got to be on the business side. They all come from the business world. Maximize your assets, break it down, and try to rebuild it.
Definitely. Bang. What you feeling about the Warriors right now?
What is this? Numbers in your pocket. I remember when
you used to throw those things.
Hey, how do you want to keep in touch now? Hey, this shit's over. Yeah, this shit's over. It was a slow death. It's good. I mean, this is what low key. This is what we were supposed to see with the Bears. I mean, not the Bears, the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were supposed to see the eventual breaking of the Bulls, right? We didn't get a chance to see that because Mike was like, "Yo, I'm out." this is the way you supposed to see your team go out and be proud that they go out in this way. It's almost like an old Western.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, it's our time, fam, but we gonna go out shooting.
Going to a nigga with a faster gun.
Exactly. The problem is just they didn't hit on the talent. They definitely could have been like the New England Patriots, where you could just fit stuff in. You got Kuminga, who supposedly think his coach has lost faith in him, or he's lost faith in his coach. Wiseman, like you said, Dante didn't work out. Moses Moody, like, what the fuck does he do? You know, you got Clay, who's went through injury after injury after injury, and he's a shell of himself. You got Draymond Green, who's delusional, and you got Steph. Steph should be, by next year, the starting point guard for the New York Knicks. That's what at this point.
No, we don't. Knicks fans don't deserve that. Absolutely not. New York Knicks fans do not deserve that.
I say this as a nigga who, like, at 35, my whole fuck New York has really fizzled, because, like,
no, it's not fuck New York. It's fuck the Knicks. It's not.
No. That's what I mean. No. That's what I mean. My whole fuck the Knicks mentality has really fizzled because that rivalry don't mean shit no more. D Rose and Melo almost had me back, but it really ain't mean much. So I would like to see Steph in the Garden. That'd be fine.
I don't want to see New York sports fans happy. I just don't. I just no. Have you met New York sports fans? The most unbearable people on planet Earth. Them niggas stink.
Well, don't get me wrong. Aaron Rodgers tearing his shit up will have me on cloud now for years. So I don't, they can get some success in basketball. That's cool with me.
That paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line. So I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line. So I'm not gonna.